The game is a complete wreck. Literally every single feature they have added is completely broken. The new legendary cloak. Because every mob you kill, you will get a small stat boost. So over time you will become more and more powerful.
It's over 9,000!
On a surface level, it's a perfect system, giving you a good sense of progress all throughout the leveling experience. But there's just a small problem in the late game. You can simply go to a mob farm with instant respawns and kill them over and over and over and over again and increase your stats by tens of thousands. You will do millions of damage per second. That wouldn't be such a big problem because everyone can do it by simply doing the overpowered frog farm. Then for some reason, Blizzard decided to remove it, which creates an even bigger problem. The people who came early and farmed millions of frogs are so far ahead of every other player in power level, they can literally solo raids. And they can even stand for the majority of the DPS in a raid. And it would be impossible for new players to even get close to catching up to the frog farmers. And now Blizzard have a dilemma in their hands. They nerf everyone, which would suck, because everyone is a lot weaker because of the actions of a small group, or they can re-add the frog farming method, which will make every single player overpowered, and there's a pretty much 0% chance that they will do that. Or the most likely method is, they will simply ignore the problem and pretend everything is okay, like they always do. But you might think, every system they added isn't broken in some way, then you would be wrong. Gems is a new item which can be added to your armor, just like your legendary cloak. It sounds really fun on a surface level, being able to find different stones to add to your armor and become more powerful. And it pretty much works like that until you come to max level, when the system completely breaks down. Because if you want to max out your stats without doing some exploitive frog farm and you just want to play the game like normal, it will become a true nightmare. But to understand why, I need to explain the entire system. There are 8 types of gems, assuming every gem has an equal drop chance, and you can upgrade them to a legendary quality. You need 3 greens to get to blue, and you need 9 to get to purple level, and 27 to get to legendary quality. So if you want one specific gem, assuming that every gem has an equal drop chance, you will need about 216 gems on average. And if you want the precise gems in every gem slot in your entire armor, there are a total of 9 gem slots. You will need 4,536 total gems, or about 4,500 total, if you have a normal luck. If you have an exploit, like the frog farm, this will take a short time, maximum a couple of hours. If you're as a normal guy, farming it in the normal and intended ways, you will probably have to play 100 or so hours of gameplay to actually get the right gem in every slot and max out your gear, which will completely suck for the average player of this game. And don't forget, investing 100 or so hours into a game mode that will also disappear in about 90 days isn't worth it for most players. Trinket gems and the meta gems are less of a problem because they don't drop duplicates, but they still suck because they take up a bunch of inventory space for no reason at all. Why don't they just make it a selection thing and you simply unlock them by equipping the item you get dropped? But the fundamental problem isn't any of the systems. It's the power difference from people who farmed frogs to literally everyone else playing the game. But moving on to the armor system, which in my opinion is the worst thing in Pandaria Remix. Like everything else, it sounds amazing on paper, but actually sucks in actual gameplay. Every piece of armor can be upgraded to max item level no matter where you get it from, even if it's your first piece of armor you ever get. It sounds fun, it sounds engaging, but it's not. If you want to upgrade a piece of armor, you need to spend copper, the main currency of the event. And don't forget, this currency you need for transmog, mounts, and every piece of collectible in the entire event. So first of all, you need to choose between items you want and extra power, which I think is a bad thing for players. Secondly, the armor upgrade prices are completely ridiculous. To max out one piece of armor from the base level 70 drop item level, it will cost you about 67,000 copper. So to max out my main, you will have helmet, shoulder, chest, bracers, glove, belt, pants and shoes. And then if you have a double-hander or a single-handed weapon, it will cost me 607,500 pieces of copper, which is literally insane. Using the frog farm, which was removed from the game for being too powerful, you would generate about 10 to 15,000 bronze per an hour. 60 hours of standing around killing frogs on repeat to get your max item level. But now we have no frog farms, so it will take you hundreds of hours to max out your item level. Who thought of this system? But did they just write a random number into the game? That's on top of the about 2 million bronze you need to generate to get every single purchasable item within 90 days. Which If you want every single item and you play every single day of the week, you will need to generate about 20,000 bronze a day, which is completely insane. And this will create a literal nightmare to max out the gear of your old characters. To simply put this into perspective with the other items in the shop, the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent, one of the most sought after and rarest mounts in the entire game for almost a decade, costs 35,000 copper on the market, which is about half of a single piece of armor. How is that possible? And if you want to max out one piece of armor, it will cost you about 12 complete armor sets. Or if you want to max out every piece of armor you have, it is equal to 120 complete sets of raid armor from Mr. Pandaria. And I really hope War Within doesn't have the exact same quality control problems that Pandaria Remix had, because this is unacceptable. If they want to keep the game balanced, at minimum half the cost of upgrading a piece of armor, and probably even a third. Because in what world is one piece of maxed armor equal to 2 whole Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpents? And don't forget, to upgrade one piece of armor to max level, you need to have every other piece of armor at the exact same level, so you can't just boost your weapons. And the 25% copper buff they just added isn't even a drop in the water in how unbalanced this game is. If you haven't played the event, you might think you get better armor by playing dungeons and raids and scenarios, but you don't. Every single item you get dropped at level 70 will have the exact same item level, even if it's a raid or a dungeon or a scenario. So you have to upgrade armor, and there's no going around it. In my opinion, they should probably double or even 4 times the current copper drop rate. So my message to Blizzard is, please play your own game before releasing it.